everyone. We're going to graph the secant line for this number 4 here. From -1 to 2, we're going to have to find our y values, and we're also going to write the equation of the secant line containing those 2 points. So we get started. The secant line is just the average rate of change of this curve here. So there's the curve, and you have 2 x values, x sub 1 and x sub 2. And you just connect those 2 points, and that's your average rate of change. So basically, we want to go from -1 to 2. We need to find our y values. So let's plug in -1. So you get -1 squared minus 5 times -1, which equals 1 plus 5, which equals 6. And let's plug in our 2. So f of 2 is going to be 2 squared minus 10, which equals -6. 4 minus 10. Now that we have our 2 points, point 1 and point 2, we can just use this equation, our slope formula, and write this out. So that's going to be -6 minus 6 divided by 2 minus a -1. So this is going to equal -12 divided by 3, which equals -4. Now let's write our equation of the secant line. So we're going to write y equals mx plus b. Plug in our slope. And plug in one of these. Let's just use that one. So 6 equals -4 times -1 plus b. 6 equals 4 plus b. So clearly b is 2, because 4 plus 2 is 6. So b is 2. And plug that back in. So we have y. We're plugging it back into that. -4x plus 2. That's your equation of your secant line. All right. Now we're going to try to graph this. And I got to remember these points, -1, 6 to -6. So I'm going to write that. All right. Now this one, if I set this to 0 and factor this, I get x times x minus 5. So my x-intercepts are x equals 0 and x equals 5. So that's also your y-intercept. 1, 2, whoops, this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And so this is your vertex in here somewhere. Let's go ahead and plot these 2 points. So -1 maps to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And 2 maps to -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically, I'm just going to sketch this. It goes something like this. We go down a little bit because this is the midpoint. I'm not going to worry about the vertex because that's not really what this is about. I'm just going to estimate it and try to graph this. So basically, there's this equation. Now, our main points were -1, 6, this one, and this one. So you want the average rate of change of this curve here. And let's see, what did we get? We got -4x plus 2. So I know my y-intercept is 2. And I'll try to connect this as best as possible. So there's your secant line. I guess you could also just go by the slope, and you could do it that way. And to extend it out, to get the equation of the secant line in general, just you can pull it out a little bit. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Class, Miss Shaw's class. Boy, I love math. Miss Shaw's class, Miss Shaw's class.
Don't fail. Watch Miss Shaw.